Why Ruben Amorim would be a successful Chelsea manager? What to me are his key strengths as a manager? His track record. Amorim has an incredible track record as a head coach. His win percentage as a manager overall is 70%, which even for the Portuguese league is pretty phenomenal. He began his managerial career at Braga, where he won the Taça de la Liga, the Liga Cup, winning 10 of his 12 games in charge before moving to Sporting CP in 2020. There, he won the league title in his first season, 20/21, as well as another League Cup, following this up with another League Cup in the 2021-2022 season. So without doubt, he is a proven winner with the ability to get results relatively quickly. This season, Sporting CP are top of the Portuguese league after 23 games and only last 2 league games all season. Twice this season, they have archived club record victories of 8-0. Sporting's club record transfer is 20 million euros. Victor Gyökeres, you might have heard of him, and they regularly lose their star players to bigger clubs. Despite this, Amorim has scored notable victories in European competition. Last season, he defeated Eintracht Frankfurt, Tottenham Hotspur and Arsenal on penalties, outperforming all of them despite being underdogs, in particular against the 2 Premier League sides. His tactical setup. Amorim generally sets his team up in a 3-4-3 formation. He plays a positional-based game but is generally pragmatic. He can adapt his tactics to suit the players he has available. Amorim tends to coach his players to do interchanging movements to distract opposing defenders and create space for the attackers to run into. Amorim wants his 3 centre-backs to break the first line through the center of the pitch as often as possible. The middle centre-back sometimes pushes up into midfield to create overloads there for the opponent. Width is provided usually by the wing-backs, something which would be very useful at Chelsea given our strength in that area. He could make the absolute most of Reece James, Malo Gusto, and Ben Chilwell, or a new LB. Sometimes this 3-4-3 becomes a 3-4-3 diamond with one midfielder, for us maybe Casado or even Ezno, who can play well from deep, dropping back deeper, and other midfielders feeding the attackers, usually with a powerful centre forward up top. Amorim uses a high pressing style, something our players are already used to, attempting to win the ball back in the final third. Out of possession, his Sporting team are very intense. When pressing high, the front 3 narrow to prioritize protecting the central spaces. So for us, you would have Nkuku, Palma and our striker all going narrow to protect the midfield and counters and win the ball back. Wing-backs then provide the width. He also is able to coach his teams to defend in low blocks where necessary, keeping a solid shape which prevents shots outside the box. Amorim generally attacks with 5 players and keeps 5 players deeper to counter transitions, so keeping balance. To me, this is a style of play very suited to Chelsea and able to maximize a lot of our talent. All players are given solid tactical instructions about their positioning and roles on the pitch, not left to simply do as they like and make it up as they go along, as they are under Pochettino. Yet Amorim is also flexible enough to be willing to change his tactics if needed. Perfect for Chelsea. Giving youth a chance. Ruben Amorim is courageous. In his time of Sporting, he's never been afraid to go to the academy and give players debuts, sometimes as substitutes. We have seen Pochettino afraid to bring on Cobham players in PLG games. My view is Amorim would be bold enough to give them a chance if the opportunity came. He wouldn't say he has no midfielders when he has few academy midfielders available. He would use them. He also worked with a lot of young talent in his squad and shown an ability to develop and manage young players while still getting results, something very important with this Chelsea squad. Shithousery and mentality. Ruben Amorim interned with Jose Mourinho in 2018 and is on record as saying this: "My reference as a manager is Jose Mourinho." Not a bad reference for a potential Chelsea manager. A. Amorim is known for his charisma on the touchline and in press conferences, and there has been videos circulated of his shithousery and fighting spirit on the touchline. Amorim is a fighter, something Chelsea fans like in their head coaches. In my view, he's also a winner. He will do what it takes to win and gets his teams fighting for him and the shirt. We have missed that at Chelsea. I think he would connect with Chelsea fans very quickly and become a fan favorite. Ability to manage up. Amorim has been Sporting for 4 seasons now. It's a big club with big pressures and expectations, yet he's been able to navigate those and keep his job. He's not fallen out with his superiors and has maintained the trust and support of the fan base. This shouldn't be underestimated as a positive quality, especially given how other clubs can operate at times. The ability to manage upward and connect with fans and keep their support can be invaluable. So what of the concerns? So let's look at the main concerns people have expressed about Amorim. The 380B formation. Many Chelsea fans are still traumatized by Antonio Conte's second season in charge, where his 380B formation was dire and awful to watch, and as such are totally averse in an 380B coach. My view on this is that the 380B formation has evolved since the days of Antonio Conte at Chelsea. It's a formation that's evolved and adopted partially inspired by Thomas Tuchel's work at Chelsea, ironically. It's a system which can now be quite aggressive and proactive. Many of the top managers like Thomas Tuchel, Xabi Alonso, Julian Nagelsmann all use 380B systems, but the last two especially played dynamic attacking football. Pep Guardiola has even used a variant 380B, especially in Man City's treble season last year. 380B formations are becoming more popular within modern coaching, so we should have no fear of this. We are not heading for Conte MK2. Indeed, it would be far closer to Tuchel MK2. Flexibility. One issue fans always worry about, rightly, with new managers is, do they have a plan B? Can they adapt to different types of tactics and teams? Can they break down low blocks? In terms of Amorim's flexibility, as I said before, he's lost a lot of talent while least Sporting manager, but he's always found a way to adapt to squad he has available. This would negate any concerns about misusing our midfield, because if he found himself with a talent like Enzo Fernandez, he would adopt his system to build around him and maximize his potential, because he knows doing that helps the team win. Right now at Sporting CP doesn't have the luxury of keeping his best players, so is always having to find ways to adapt to keep the team winning. His goal is to win, and he finds ways to make the most of the talent he has to win. Again, something needed to manage Chelsea successfully and win over fans. His age, inexperience. I mean, haven't we been here before with young coaches with only a few years experience? Also, he's only managed in the Portuguese league. I take this opportunity and acknowledge this is a valid question. However, I sense from this personality and character that Amorim would have no problem dealing with his pressure of Chelsea. Being manager of Sporting CP has big pressures. You are expected to win every season, and there is big pressure internally and from fans to be successful. Even in bad periods of Sporting CP, he's never cracked or wilted. In fact, he's normally come back stronger. In terms of his age, our squad is so young. He will be a lot older than pretty much all of them away. He's also worked with young squads before and been successful, so that's not a concern to me at all. He's just like Poch because his teams press. With respect, this is one of the most ridiculous arguments I have read, and I'm going to spend barely any time on it. Amorim is a modern coach who plays a modern technical style of football and is tactically completely different to Mauricio Pochettino. Many teams who play very different tactical setups play with a high press now. This isn't exclusive to Pochettino, and having watched a fair amount of Amorim Sporting, I can tell you these tactics are completely different to Pochettino. In conclusion, my view is and remains that Ruben Amorim is an excellent fit to be Chelsea manager. His tactics, ability to improve players and work with young players, winning mentality, personality, and to adapt himself tactically to win are all things which are required in any successful Chelsea manager. His setup would suit a lot of our players and give them a clear tactical framework. There is a reason the likes of Liverpool are taking him seriously as a managerial candidate. Although some of the concerns are valid, I'm confident he would adapt very quickly and be able to deal with the pressure. I think he would build a strong, competitive Chelsea team and improve the players we have, making the most out of the elite talents in our squad to achieve success. Alongside Nagelsmann, he's my top choice candidate to replace Mauricio Pochettino at Chelsea.